Hello, welcome to the RTE Olympics podcast. 6 days in, and we've got a medal 6 days in a row. Let's just hope on the seventh day we don't rest, and
Mm.
Daniel Wiffen can bring home number seven. I will be chatting to Barry Murphy about that a little bit later, but now I am delighted to be joined by Jim McMahon of RTE Sport, who had the pleasure to be and the privilege to be in the Bercy Arena earlier to watch Ireland winning
Yeah,
their first ever gymnastics medal. And wouldn't you know it was a gold medal? Rhys McClenaghan on the pommel horse. Jim, for those of us watching at home, the tension was almost unbearable. What was it like in the arena?
it was unbearable, Mikey, because every time a competitor did their thing, their routine, they finished. You had a big screen that we were all looking up on. You had the score of the previous participant, right? 15, whatever, 14. And it was a bit like if you think about, I'm thinking about Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars, before they say who's eliminated each week. There was
Yeah.
that sort of 30, maybe 20 to 30 seconds before their score flashed up gradually on the screen. And it kind of rose up like it was like some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a tap filling up as the score was revealed. And the chap from Kazakhstan, whom I thought, to my untutored eye, I've really got up to speed in gymnastics in the last week. Uh, I didn't think he performed as well as he did to get the score that he did. I actually thought Max Whitlock performed quite well, and I was a bit well, not disappointed. I was surprised at the score he got. So, anyways, the Kazakhstani gets his score. He goes in front. And then there's 8 participants, so it's 4 and 4. So after the fourth participant, they have a little break. Our
Mm.
man Rhys was fourth. Uh, he hops up, he comes out, he hops up on the pommel. There's people all over the place filming. This is going on. The place is packed, by the way. And sorry, Mikey, can I just backtrack by saying before this routine, we had Simone Biles winning her gold
Mm.
medal. So, like, the place was already, you know, it was already
Frothing.
rocking, energized. And Reese does his thing. And we all think it's very, at times I thought he was going to fall off because his hand was near the edge, and I
Mm.
thought, oh God, oh, there was little shrieks like that. He didn't fall off. He did his routine. Again, we started looking out up at this screen. We have the leader, the Kazakhstani chap, has his score there. And next thing we wait the 20 to 30 seconds, the silence. And next thing, Reese's score is revealed to indicate that he has now taken the lead. So that's Reese in front. So there's a sort of a half time we can gather our breath. Out come the other 4 people. Out comes the guy from the States. And he probably was the second favorite, and his score comes through. And again, we start looking up, and it's not quite as good as Reese's. And I think for most of us knew from that point on, Reese was guaranteed a medal, and he was guaranteed the gold medal.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
that's a kind of a snapshot of those
yeah,
10,
it
15
was.
minutes. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was incredibly tense. And should I say that I'm recording this at 10 to 10 on Saturday night, and I waited until Kellie Harrington had fought, and Kellie Harrington has just made it into
Yeah.
back-to-back Olympic lightweight boxing finals, beating the Brazilian opponent, Beatrice. I always remember her name because I have a
Mm.
daughter called Beatrice.
All right.
Beating Beatrice Soares uh, quite well. It's been a hell of a day, and I was starting
Yeah.
off the day, Jim. I was like, oh, it's a little bit quieter than yesterday, and it's
Mm.
always that way. And then the day gains some momentum. Like you were you were gripped by Simone Biles, and we were getting really excited by the cycling
That's right.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Which I missed. Yeah.
Ryan Mullen and Ben Healy had played a stormer, and Ben
Mm.
Healy was winning it for quite a while until he was overhauled by Remco Evenepoel, which
Mm.
and there's no shame in that. And then McIlroy comes back in the golf, and he's
Yeah.
in with a shot, and we already had Daniel Wiffen going through to the final of the 1500 meters and pretty much
Storming
promising to
through.
break the world record tomorrow.
Mm.
And it's and and then Cathal Doyle goes and wins his 1500 meters repechage as well. It's been one of those
One of
days,
these
but Jim,
days.
we can't get away from the fact that Ireland are gold medalists in gymnastics.
Mm.
Jim, you're renowned for having an encyclopedic knowledge of sport and of most
Well,
things.
I've
But
most. I'm glad.
this isn't something you don't have to go back and think when was the last time we had a challenger in gym. We
Yeah.
haven't. We
We
just
haven't
haven't.
had.
This is not
No.
a. This was considered a global sport dominated by America, a couple of Asian countries,
Yeah.
and countries that used to belong in the Soviet Union. And the
Yeah.
rest of us could just forget about it. And now all of a sudden, We have a double world champion and
Yeah,
Olympic gold medalist. It's
medalist
phenomenal.
and a European titleist as well. No, never I thought, Mikey, like, I mean, always we watched gymnastics with the view that these people who are good at gymnastics live far away from us. You know, they don't, never the twain shall meet.
They're
But
not
Rhys,
Celts.
no, but Rhys's rise, I mean, ever since he came off the beam 3 years ago, I mean, he's more or less, he's sort of he's ticked every box. He's every competition he's been in, he's been winning it. And it was interesting because I was at the press conference afterwards, and the three medalists were there. Three fellas that I'd say would get on really, really well. You know, and I did feel sorry for the Kazakhstan guy because most people were interested in asking questions of the other two. You know, so and it was interesting that Rhys at one point said to the American, "LA, baby."
Yeah.
So you'd imagine that hopefully come 4 years' time that the two of them will still be, you know, will still. I mean, Rhys is only. I was just looking at his age. He's only 25. He'll be 29 in 4 years. Max Whitlock is 31, and he's called it a day. So
Mm.
I mean, I think Rhys's, you know, better days could still be ahead for him. But the other guy, Stephen, sorry, forgive me for not quite being able to pronounce his.
You have to say it quick, Jim. I think you really have to commit to it. That's what I've been trying earlier when I've been
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to Mairead Gavin. You have to say Stephen Rudchick. If you say it real quick, I don't think anyone will.
Ruttrick, yeah, but no, but he's a really and while Stephen in between is apparently he's very good at the Rubik's cube. He's
Okay.
quite good at he's quite good at the Rubik's cube. But I mean, the three of them, like I mean, Rhys was just very chilled out in the
Mm.
press conference. I mean, you know, like he said, you know, he obviously he did feel that the weight of expectation was on him. Like he did feel the pressure because
Mm.
he's the world, he's a European, and that this was the box that he more or less had to take. He had to deliver this Olympic gold, not medal, but gold. And as I said when I wrote a little piece, that he's at the summit now, but I think he wants to keep going. You know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like what other, like, I mean, there are other, well, obviously 4 years, there's a cycle, there's Worlds, there's Europeans, there's LA, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so he can start again, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Go after them all
well,
again.
yeah, it's the thing, and you know, your neighbor from home, shall we call her Mona McSherry? You know, she
Yeah,
pretty much said today that you know she's probably this is her
yeah,
last Olympics, and she's good chance she's going to quit
yeah.
swimming, and you know, Barry
I
Murphy's.
actually got that from the kind of vibes, you know, when because
Mm,
I've been on a couple of Zoom calls with Mona this year, and you can just read in between what she's saying. You know, she
yeah,
talked about that she wants to work with pets and she likes to live near the sea. Like, I think Mona has the fact that she's got the medal. When we all thought at the start of the week, yeah, she'd get to a final, but we never thought there was a little doubt whether she could get the medal. But I think the other medalists in the game so far, Mikey, are the people we have expected to get medals.
yeah. Mona's the bonus. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
definitely. But you
But
know, just the point that you know the idea of starting again, even when you're a bronze medalist, and
yeah,
I think
yeah,
swimming, the training for swimming is probably as
yeah.
brutal as for any sport. Not
Mm,
that
mm,
gymnastics is a walk in the park, but
mhm.
yeah, Rhys is. You'd like to think he'd take a break now and then he'll decide what to do. But you'd imagine he'll get back on the horse. Pun definitely
Yeah,
intended.
yeah.
But I was wondering about Jim because you were at the press conference and he spoke to Darren Maloney. Rhys did on the TV not
Oh,
long before Kelly's fight, and it's very interesting what he said. He does cheer on his competitors. He cheers them all
yeah.
on, and he wants them to do as well as possible because he knows how hard they train. But he just wants to do better than them.
Yeah.
I met him at the RT Sports Wars last year. He just seems like a terribly nice fella.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think after his routine, after Stephen's routine, the two of them hugged each other. You know,
Mm,
like I mean, like there doesn't seem to be any kind of. I'm trying to think
animosity.
of I'm trying to think of rivals, whether it's you know, Coe and Ovett, or I don't know whether there was something back in the day between them. You
Well,
know,
Kellie Harrington and Beatrice don't like each other very
yeah,
much either. I
you know
don't
what I
think so. You
mean.
do get it, you know.
But I mean, but there's something brewing up in that part of the world because he's from Newton Ards and Daniel is from down the road. So like there definitely is something brewing in that northeast corner of Ireland that's
Yeah,
now produced
absolutely.
three medals probably. Or hope well, maybe tomorrow night. Hopefully, Daniel can take home the 1500 gold. You know, so
Yeah.
But all in all, Mikey, I just have to say, that arena, the Bercy Arena and the Défense Arena are just spectacular. You know, really, the atmosphere, like sport is sport, but like it's now more than sport. It's about theatre, it's about entertainment, it's about getting people, you know. My only difference, and I'm not showing my age because I'm still quite, it's perhaps just a somewhat noisy, that kind of piercing noise from the PA. It just gets, you know, sometimes. I don't think my father, Lord rest him, when he was alive, would like it. You know what I mean? Because he was always giving out about noise. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
So
don't think he liked the French swimming crowd, Jim? No.
no, I don't think so. No, 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 no.
They're a bit rowdy. Well,
Yeah,
look, Jim, I think I can sense it from you. Like you know, it's 11 o'clock at night there. You've had a long day. You were at the swimming earlier as well, but
yeah.
like you can sense the energy is still bouncing off
Oh,
you.
I'm
This
still energy. I
is
mean, I've been bouncing since I got here, Mikey. I mean, I was bouncing last Monday night for Mona. I went to the tennis. I snuck into the tennis during the week. I've been to the beach volleyball. Like, I mean, it's just been able to, and the fact that Paris, and the fact that a good number of the venues are so easy to get to, it makes it. I mean, I was out at the golf, which is a bit far out. I know the equestrian is further out, but still, like, I mean, I'd be buzzing, you know, and hopefully maybe buzzing tomorrow evening again after Daniel,
yeah.
if he does bring home the bacon, and after that, and maybe to see something spectacular in the Stade de France coming up over the next week as well. But
Oh,
we'll see.
yeah. I think if we keep asking about medal, I think we're going to seem greedy soon. But
Yeah,
yes, we've got 6, and let's hope we can complete the Craig David week tomorrow and we get our 7th
yeah.
with Daniel Wiffen. And I will be speaking to Daniel. Sorry, not to Daniel. He's probably in bed. I will be talking to Barry Murphy now in a minute about that. But I
Yeah.
think before we go, I think I'm going to leave the last word to Kellie Harrington. She spoke to Jill Stack not long after her fight, and I think you'll get a sense here of what it meant to her to reach a consecutive Olympic final.
I don't think I've seen you react like this in Tokyo. Take a breath, look behind you, look around you just for a second and acknowledge what this means to everybody else. Kellie, tell us what it means to you.
I actually have no words for a change. I'm speechless. It's not often you get that. I don't know, I just can't believe that, and I just can't believe that happened again.
Well, let's talk about the fight then for a second. What was your plan going in? Because that was a perfect Kellie Harrington performance.
I mean, I thought she was just going to rush at me because they are the best. The place is closed, like there's no one else, and they're still here. They're brilliant. It's brilliant.
Well, they're going to kick us out in a minute. Just talk us through the fight briefly.
So I thought she was going to come. Well, I think she did kind of come, but in my head, I visualised her coming straight at me like that. I think she tried to outbox me.
You were comfortable all the way through. You were kind of dictating what was happening in there.
I felt good. I felt happy, and at one stage she hit me with her head, and I genuinely thought my tooth was after coming out. They're still there, thank God. But like, she's an incredible fighter. She's a world champion pro now. It's like, you know, I don't know what else to say. Like,
you've said there are no easy opponents at the Olympics.
No.
You don't like looking ahead, but can you indulge us just for a second and look ahead to Tuesday?
I don't know who I have Tuesday.
No, I know that, but the chance to become a
like
double.
I've always said though, I'm not looking at anything other than embracing the moment and enjoying it. You know, that's all I'm looking towards. If I'm happy like the way I was happy in there today, then I'll be happy. You know, like, and as long as I get out of the ring and I'm happy, that's all that matters, isn't it? Really, like, it's only sport at the end of the day. That's all it is. Doesn't define me as a person. You know, I'm still Kellie Harrington. Whether I win or I lose, I'm going to go home to a great family and an absolutely brilliant community. And I know my community is all super proud of me. Whether I win, whether I lose, they're a part of me and I'm a part of them. And I can't wait to I honestly can't wait to get home and celebrate this with them.
We look forward to continuing the journey with you on Tuesday, champ.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a million. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Barry is back with me again to reflect on another very impressive performance from Daniel Wiffen in the pool as he, as much as any human being can cruise 1,500 meters of a pool to make it into Sunday's final. The final is going to be on in the afternoon, 5:37 p.m. A little bit early. I think it's because it's the last day, Barry. Is it that they kind of, there's just one session for the last day in the pool, is it? Does the time of day make any difference whatsoever for Daniel?
Yes, it will. We generally find that swimmers swim faster in the afternoons. Even though we do early morning training, your body just isn't quite that awake to perform at top level. There's a lot of data, a lot of studies behind it, and the vast majority of world records are all broken in the evening session. So it would indicate that the time of day does make a difference. Although for Daniel, a 5:30 start tomorrow would probably be in and around his usual training time when he's based back in Loughborough. So he'll have absolutely no problems with it. He'll be coming out tomorrow in lane 4 again for the second time this week in an Olympic final. And he's going to absolutely relish in it,
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it for Daniel. He did exactly the same thing in the 800, got the center lane, walked out like he was king of the world and got the job done. So I think that's going to be his plan tomorrow.
Yeah, because it bears reminding people that coming into this Olympics and in the course of his massive career improvement in the last couple of years, the 1,500 meters is the event he's considered better at, and it's the event he prefers. And he really did look so impressive. Again, it seemed he was kind of pulling up with 400 meters to go. And we saw the contrast to how the winner of the third semi-final came through, where he, with the last 30 meters, he absolutely sprinted to the finish like it was 100 meters freestyle, and Daniel was still five seconds faster than him, and he seemed to be taking it quite easy and seemed to think himself that he was going slower than he was, which I would imagine for a swimmer is a very satisfying realization.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no better feeling than touching the wall, looking up at the clock, feeling like, yeah, probably in third or fourth gear there, and seeing a time that you'd be actually pretty pleased with. So yeah, look, he absolutely nailed the heat this morning. I think it benefited him that the Italian guy Gregorio Paltrinieri was in with him. He has been a legend of distance swimming in Europe for the last 10, 15 years. He's also the defending Olympic champion in the 10K. So he just set that pace nicely. And Daniel was like super comfortable staying with them. At about 800, so halfway through the heat this morning, Daniel gave a bit of a kick, picked up the pace for a couple of hundred, broke away from Paltrinieri, and then shut it right down again. So it would have been good to kind of dust the cobwebs off. I'm sure there was a lot of media and, a lot of rigmarole around the medal over the last couple of days, but good to kind of get back into the swing of things, go down to the pool, do his warm-up, get the race done, enjoy the rest of the team, swim the relays, etc. And then he's going to be down to business now. Active recovery today, a lot of sleep, a lot of rest, maybe a light swim in the morning, and then back tomorrow, probably around 3:30 to start his warm-up. Yeah, go through his routine and get ready for that final at about 5:30. So, look, he's the double world champion, current world champion in this event. He has his routine nailed, and it'll just be business as usual for Daniel tomorrow.
Yeah, he's talking about breaking a world record, and when you look, as you just mentioned, that world record is 12 years old. It was set by Yang Sun at the London Olympics. And there's guys like Bobby Finke, who's seen as, a dominant figure at this distance. Paltrinieri, you mentioned it. These guys have gone their whole careers and not broken this record. And Daniel's, he's not hinting at it. He's saying, this is what I want to do tomorrow, and this is what I think I will do tomorrow. We've just seen an Irish guy win a gold medal in gymnastics, which is a sport we could never have dreamed of having global success at a few years ago. We've obviously had significant success in swimming in the past, but it was flash in the pan, which is not kind of looked back on in maybe the way some people think it would be. But this is a guy going out and saying, I'm going to do this. And most of us probably think, yeah, he probably will do it. Yeah, 12-year-old world record, why not? Olympic final, yeah, sure, good time to break it.
No, he's been saying it for years as well. And when he's kind of 2000, 2001, and he's talking this game, you're like, this chap's delusional. But no, he just kept progressing, kept doing what he was saying he was going to do. I remember looking back, him making the team in 2021. I thought that was a great swim for a young man to do that. He really put it out there. He made that team. Then he did a best time at the games, and I was really impressed with a young man, first Olympics, going out there, doing a PB. He's just gone from strength to strength from there. He was making European finals, he was making world finals, he was just off the medals, and then he just started getting into medal contention. And then over the last sort of 12 months, the short course world record, the European titles, the world titles, you just thought, this guy is just continually progressing. And I just think when, he's on a roll like this, he's continually getting faster. He's clearly adapting really well to his coach's training. They figured out what works for Daniel, and he's just gone from strength to strength. So it's unbelievable to see, I never thought we'd have kind of Olympic champion world record holders. I thought it would happen one day, but just not as quickly as it's come about. And for a nation that we've never seen, a male on top of the Olympic podium in the pool, it's going to have a huge impact on Irish swimming. It's going to have a huge impact on young boys, giving them that belief that they can go and do this. Daniel started in a small club in Larne, just like the rest of us that got into swimming in Ireland. And now he's top of the world. So if he can do it, anyone can do it. So yeah, he's an absolute credit to himself and his family, and a huge inspiration. And we're going to see now swimming explode, and hopefully we get a few more pools built, so we can get the kids the pool time they need. Because yeah, that's a huge challenge for us at the moment. But it's great to see, and yeah, I've got a 9-month-old, and I'm going to be telling him about Daniel Wiffen and how he just did what he believed he could do.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't put the medal around his neck just yet. He does seem to be the hot favorite.
Yeah.
Patronieri's coming in, 2 seconds behind him. Aubrey, the French swimmer, is another 2 seconds odd back. And then in Heat 4, as I mentioned, sorry, I said Heat 3 earlier. In Heat 4, Ahmed Joudi was 4 seconds back, but his finish kind of was eye-catching. Behind him was Bobby Finke, who was probably a little bit more relaxed, and Robbie had a better handle on what he had done.
There's actually, just to go on to the Bobby Finke point, there's actually a huge amount of pressure on Bobby Finke now. So
because
in
the US men's team is stinking it up.
pretty much, yeah. They've just not won an individual male title yet. Their last two hopes was Bobby in the 1500 and Caleb Dressel in the 100 fly. Now, I don't think they got their strategy right with Dressel yesterday. He had the final of the 50 fly, then he was doing the heats of the relay before that morning, and then he also had the semis of the 100 fly, and he just didn't get into the final. So the defending champ has gone there. And so for the US men not to have an individual gold medalist, having been so dominant for the last number of years between Michael Phelps, Ryan Lochte, Caleb Dressel, all of the US media attention has now turned to Bobby Finke to deliver. This is also coming into the fact that they're hosting home games in 4 years. So there's going to be a lot of questions asked if he can't deliver. I'm sure he's going to be aware of the talk around it, because it's all over swimming Twitter and all the swim news sites as well. Is Bobby going to be able to deliver this? I'm sure Daniel, having been very clued into kind of social media and what's being discussed amongst swimmers, will also be aware of that, and he's probably going to want to have his say on how that works out for Bobby.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and the pressure could work two ways for him. Obviously, he's a serious performer, Bobby Finke, and you'd wonder. But a buddy of mine lives in the States, and he was watching NBC's 1 hour wrap of the Olympics, and it was half an hour Simone Biles and the gymnastics team event winning the gold medal. He said it was two other races, but he said the last 5-10 minutes of the show was Wiffen versus Finke. That was kind of how it was. That's how it was playing out. That's kind of how they framed it. And that was before they had the failures of Dressel and everything else. So you can only imagine how this is going to be framed tomorrow. And And also, it's worth noting, that how seriously in America they take swimming. Like the LA, the swimming is going to be in the athletic spot, so it's going to be like the pride of place. It's a big thing for them. So, as you say, this is the last chance saloon for America. This race is going to be a big deal in the United States.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge deal. So, yeah, it's going to get your popcorn ready because it's going to be exciting. Bobby's going to be aware of it. Daniel's going to be aware of it. I think a lot of the swimming community will be aware of it. I think it's good if you make the Irish viewers aware of it as well, that like this does have implications, and there will be a US swimming inquisition if Bobby doesn't get his hand on the wall first. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Wow. So are we saying it's kind of between those two?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I thought Bobby looked pretty comfortable, all things considered this morning. He had a bit of a push at the end and he was keeping an eye on Joanny, the Tunisian swimmer, Paltrinieri, thereabouts as well. I do think it's probably between the three that were in contention in the 800. But because Daniel was so comfortable, I think he's gonna just probably be a carbon copy of the 800, right? Stay in the mix, see kind of how it pans out. Maybe the first 500, he'll know how much he has left in the tank, and then when it's time to kick. Look, we spoke about this earlier in the week, Mikey. We know what Bobby Fink is going to do. He closes like a train. So Daniel's just going to need to make sure as well he's aware of that. So either he gives himself a big enough gap to where it's not a problem, or he has enough in the tank to make sure he can drop the hammer as well to kind of see off Bobby's close, because everyone knows what Bobby Fink is going to do. Stopping him doing it again is going to be another thing, but Daniel's already done it already once this week. So he mentioned after that he's been training for that. He mentioned to Paul, I've been training all year for this last 50, so you better do it. So look, he'll be aware that it could be coming again in this 1500.
And then just a word on a man who we spoke about in previewing coming in here to Daniel Wiffen's first event, and how he was the man to look out for was Sam Short, the Australian, and he's had a nightmare of a meet, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, nightmare of a meet. And to be honest, I haven't heard what's been going on. Nick mentioned today in commentary that he might have been ill after trials or something, but he just has not produced at all. Um, Overall, the Australian men haven't done too well. A couple of kind of medals here and there. Carl Chalmers in the 100 free, Elijah Whittington in the 400. So yeah, not the most stellar meet we were probably expecting from the Australian men, but yeah, there's been plenty of other swimmers to make up for it. I think we all saw Leon Marchand just do an absolute masterclass in middle distance swimming.
Here's an
Obviously,
understatement.
yeah, Daniel. I mean, understatement. I tell you what, there's going to be another inquisition there in US swimming, because Bob Bowman has elected not to be part of Team USA. Because if you're part of Team USA, you're not allowed to work with any other outside countries at the games. So he chose to forego his Team USA coaching position and align himself to the French team.
Mm.
Now, Bob Bowman, as a coach, has now 15 medalists at these games. So if he was his own country, he'd be second in the medals table, right? That includes Marchand, it includes Hubert Koss, it includes Caron, who just got a medal this evening in the men's 100 fly. So yeah, his swimmers have produced 15 medals themselves. USA Swimming are going to see that and they're going to be like, how do we get Bob back on board to be part of Team USA coming into LA 28? Because we can't have Bob coaching all these champions outside of Team USA. We're going to have to get him back into the fold and make sure he's on board with us, because a home games is too important for Team USA to not have any individual champions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, isn't it? It's nice that little Ireland are kind of, we're sitting pretty here talking about how many medals we got to win, and you have like, two of the powerhouses of swimming in the United States and Australia kind of fretting. Very, very last word. I know I said that was the last word. This is it. Mona McSharry pretty much said in an interview that this was her last Olympics. Her relay teammates are trying to convince her otherwise, but from what's gone before to what's happened in the last week, I don't think it would surprise us if Mona walked away, and if she did, it would be what better way to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. What better way to do it? I mean, mission accomplished from, what you dream of being a young swimmer, starting at those age group meets, going to like the Ulster Championships, Connacht Championships, and then she's coming away with her Olympic medal. 100% mission accomplished. Um, I would not begrudge her if she decided that was it for her. I would be disappointed to see her step away because she is such a huge part of Irish swimming. And she can go on. She has plenty of years left in her if she wants to be at the Olympic and world medalist level. But she's thinking now of the work, how hard it is 4 years out from the games, and the amount of work that kind of has to go into the preparation. And right now, it's probably not for her. But, maybe if she takes some time off and she kind of figures out what she wants to do, maybe she looks
Change of
at join
circumstance as well, isn't it? Because she's finished college now,
changes.
more than likely. So
Exactly. Look, change of circumstances, change of environment. There's plenty of opportunities and kind of like programs out there that would happily welcome Mona and the level of swimmer she's at. So maybe she looks at going to a different program in a different country. There's so many doors that are open for her to pursue if she wants to do it. But yeah, look, it's a huge amount of work and a huge commitment, and I'm sure she's looking forward to having a bit of a break because she did have a pretty tough collegiate season, and then to roll on through into the Olympics is quite grueling. So yeah, I'd never begrudge her for stepping away. She's done everything she wanted to do, but I think if the appetite comes back in a year or two time, she'd giving herself plenty of time to roll into LA. We'd all love to keep her involved and have her stay on. So yeah, only time will tell. I remember, I was 2 years out from Rio and I just thought, I can't do it. Can't keep going for 2 more years. And yeah, no
you
regrets at the time, but looking back now, I was like, I should have just kept going to Rio. What was I thinking?
after a lifetime of trying to touch the wall first, you finally hit the wall, I think, in swimming. It
Yeah.
probably happens to everybody, does it?
Oh, it happens to everyone, and it happens in plenty of times before they actually hang up the tog. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. And look, I wish her all the best if she does, if that is it for her.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just watching here. The women's 100 meters final has just taken place. Julian Alfred has won it ahead of Sha'Carri Richardson, the world champion, and she won it pretty impressively. So
That's
St. Lucian.
St. Lucian's first medal ever.
Is it? Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that actually leads me on to my fact for the day. Not quite as glitzy an event. All credit to the 51 kg division in boxing, but Cape Verde won its first medal today as well. It's a country, archipelago of islands off the north coast of Africa. Roberto Lopez, who plays for Shamrock Rovers, Pico Lopez, has represented them. I think his dad's from Cape Verde. 600,000 people. Their seventh Olympics, and they won their first medal today. David Depina, he won his quarterfinal in the 51 kg division. So he could win silver, he could win gold, but he's already won a bronze. So,
Amazing.
and for another island nation, St. Lucian, to win the 100 meters women's, that's phenomenal. And for Ireland to win its first gymnastics medal, it's been a good Saturday at the Olympics, I have to say.
Yeah.
Barry, thank you very much. And here we are hoping tomorrow, Daniel Wiffen gives us another gold medal. Remains spoiled.
I don't doubt him. I don't doubt him.
That's what we like to hear. Thanks, Barry, and everybody else. We will chat to you tomorrow. Good luck. Goodbye. Thank you.